In this video, we are going to look at conditional statements. Now let's go back to this section on using JavaScript. Now what is a conditional statement? A conditional statement simply means a check to see whether a certain condition is met before execution of a certain set of codes. Now what do I mean? I think it will be easier for me to show you right now. Now let's use a boolean as an example. So we have a variable of the name mouse down. Maybe set it to true, the boolean true. So if, now we are writing the start of a conditional statement, and then open bracket, if mouse down equals to true, close bracket here and open this special bracket here, and then close it here. So whatever happens here, you can write the code that what should be executed here when mouse down is true. So for conditional checks, for the equal, you have a 2 equal sign here. This means that it's a check to see whether this mouse down is the value of true. Because if you have only one equal, it's trying to set a value of true to mouse down instead of checking. So now for conditional statements, to check whether mouse down is this value, you have to put 2 equal sign here. So let me show you. Let's save and see what happens. Refresh the website, inspect element. You can see that the console has printed the mouse is down. That means this set of codes here in the conditional statement is executed. Now what if I change this equals to false? Now as you might expect, the console should not print anything that says the mouse is down. Let's go back, refresh and check. As you can see here, the console is now empty because this doesn't meet the conditional statement of false. So this code is skipped and not executed. Now you can put more than one line here, it will be the same effect. They will just execute every code in between these two brackets here. So now I'm going to show you one property of the boolean, which is the invert. As mentioned earlier in the course, this helps to change this value false to a true. So it should print this, the mouse is down. As you can see, it's working now, showing the mouse is down. So basically this, I have proven again that this helps to invert this boolean value from false to true. Now let me show you one other thing of conditional statements. It's using the else. Let's just type something here before I explain. Now by using the else statement here, we are saying that if this conditional statement is not met, we will perform the codes and close in this else section. So let's remove the exclamation so that it prints the mouse is not down. So let's save. Refresh the website. You can see that the mouse is now not down. So it's printing the value here. So because this conditional statement is not met, so you try to execute this instead because of the else statement. I think let's try numbers to show you a clearer picture of how else we can use conditional statements. For example, the number is an integer, which is 1. So we check whether the number is equals to 2. If the number is 2, we will show that the number is 2 here. And instead of else, we can actually put something in between if and else, which is called the else if. And open bracket, Now in this case, it means that if you will check for the number if it equals to 2, if it's equal to 2, you will print out this statement, the number is 2. But if it's not equal to 2, you will move on to the next one, which is else if. This will check whether the number is 1, and if it's 1, you will print this out. If not, you will skip again and go lastly to the else, which will print out this statement instead, if all conditional before that are not met. So in this example here, we should expect it to print the number is 1, since the number is equal to 1, which meets the second condition here. Let's save and take a look again. So if I refresh, you can see that the number is 1, which is the second statement here, is printed out because our value of this variable is 1, which meets this condition. Now besides equal, we can also compare certain other values. For example, if it's not equals to 2, is not equals to 2. So let's save and see what happens. Refresh the website again. You can see that now the console prints out the number is not equals to 2. So this line of code is executed and the rest are skipped. Now, for conditional statements, if the first condition is met, even though this is true as well, which is 1, it will skip the rest of the conditional statements. As long as the first one is met, it encounters the first conditional that meets its criteria, you skip the rest of the conditional statements behind it. So let's look at other signs that we can use. If it's smaller than, no, bigger than 2, and let's change this to smaller than 2. So if it's bigger than 2, you will print that the number is bigger than 2. And if it's smaller, we'll print the number is smaller than 2. If not, the number is 2. So basically, if the number is greater than 2, you will print the number is bigger than 2. If the number is smaller than 2, you will print the number is smaller than 2. If not, the number is 2, because if the number is not smaller or bigger than 2, it should be 2. So let's save and take a look at what is the value. Our number is 1 here. Remember the value. So let's refresh. So we should get that the number is smaller than 2, which is what we want. So basically, this second line of code is executed again because number 1 is smaller than the number 2 because of this sign here. So what happens when we change this to 2? The last one should take effect. The number is 2. So let's save and take a look. If we refresh the website, you can see that the number is now 2. Let me show you something else. You can also use this. That means it's either smaller than 2 or equal than 2. So let's save. Then instead of the third line, we should get the number is smaller than 2 here, this text here. So let's refresh. The number is smaller than 2, which is this line here, which meets this condition. These are what we can do roughly for conditional statements in JavaScript. I hope you understand what is happening here, as this is really an important foundation for all programming languages. Thank you and see you in the next video.